misuro, anadigo bambiyaga, ononne makucham, renne makucham, nyanni muanije, ninu sinam metna. I feel blessed when I'm wrapped up in your love. Dancing to my gospel song. Feel blessed, I feel blessed, 'cause your promises are sure. They are here and amen. Feel blessed, I feel blessed when your mantle is upon my life. I can dance like David dance. Feel blessed. Let me hear you feel safe to let. Feel blessed. I feel blessed when your mantle is upon my life. I can dance like David did. Feel blessed. We want on that team who can. Ooh Lord, blessed. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Namesu eradise wunimi banko biane mabanke se yankupana medeme ho matoso. Surely he will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. And in the name of he who died and rose again, shall you succeed and be blessed in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Me adore the Most High, Almighty God, creator of the heaven and earth, in the supreme ruler. Blessed.
You don't hustle tire. You know they take you holiday. You write application, you go for auditions, but still it be like saying no they pay. They don't laugh you tired. Some say share until your mate get the aeroplane. Before you go make calm, you beg God to make calm, but see everybody getting late. So my brother hustle, so my sister walk. No condition lasts forever, your own turn become. So my brother hustle, so my sister walk. Beans you know they cook forever, your own peace go down. If you see person make a more, rejoice with them. If they ask you what's your own, no take no offense. See this life better, know your time they come, because no be only you kill Jesus, we plenty for there.
So my brother hustle,
Show me person we walk hard, oh, from night till dawn. Now the person we go jump if no give up. See this life I turn by turn, oh, time they come.
No be only you. So my brother hustle, oh my sister walk you. Oh no they last forever, your time go come.
So my brother hustle, Jerry. So my sister walk. Beans you know they cook forever. Don't beans go down.
Forever.
If you see person you make a move, and if they ask you what's on, oh,
Forgive
see this life I turn by turn, oh, the time they come.
no be
Only
only
you kill Jesus by yourself. Show me person where they walk, oh. Now the person will go jump if he no give up. See this life that turn by turn, oh, your time they come. We plenty for there,
plenty for the matter.
we plenty for there.
Don't let your hope scatter.
Oh,
ẹ ọsùn ẹ má ṣọ̀lẹ ọ̀lẹ ò dá o.
No be only you kill Jesus. We plenty for
there.
Hello, and welcome to Encore, the Facebook Live platform on which we discuss all things love, marriage, relationship, and what have you. I realize that my set. Okay, let me take care of this. You are welcome. We don't take the fact that you are you invest your time and your data joining us for granted. And you guys have no idea how wonderful it is that before we start the program, there are already people waiting on the line, those who have logged on. And I'd like to say thank you very much to everyone who is watching us. So there is Nana Jua, Matilda, Ofoli. Ofoli, your name frightens me because of the LI. And then DK. DK, I'm using your initials because the other names, if I pronounce it right now, this program would end. Irene, Nanaya, Jack, and then Joshua, Hetty, Nikome, and Nanaraba, Afoli Kwe, and Deborah, the Kofredria Queen. Deborah, hey, Lala. We've missed you. We've missed you. So one of these days, join us in the studio and stop making pampa and shouting online. She's screaming at everybody there. And then Mami Aba, I like the way you spell Mami. I haven't seen that kind of spelling, Mami. It's an interesting way of, yeah. No, but it's fantastic. Rama, Nana B. Joanna, Salasi, Mavis, and then Efia, and the herbalist is also online, the mother of the millennium, Miss Hoiga, and Teresa. Well, that's an interesting way of spelling Teresa. Joanne, I got your mail, and all the best. I hope you enjoy being on the other side as well. Who else? Okay, Frank Jan, Gideon, and Adrian. I will need you on the studio. You'll be on set, so wherever you are hiding, make sure you are here. I'm right here. Okay, he's right there. Okay, okay. All right, and Priscilla. No, she's not Priscilla. Priscillas. Priscillas. Jesse, you see the confusion you brought. Everybody is Priscilla apart from you. Well, to all of you, you are welcome. I do not know how many of you were able to join us on Sunday. for the streaming of Make Me a Woman Tonight. But if you were able to join us and you managed to get on, congratulations to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Those of you who tried and the technical aspects messed you up, my apologies to you once again. As you are aware, if you are in that category, we have already reached out to you and we have offered you the 48 hours, which have expired now. In 30 minutes. We have already offered you 48 hours for compensation. We hope you forgive us. We did the best we could to make the experience enjoyable for everybody. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. To those, the BBCs among us, born before computer, I'm one of them. We struggled, I understand. So the guarantee is this: we're working to make it as easy for somebody my age. That is how hard we are working. So that somebody like me who does not know anything can just access it next time. So don't be put off by the struggles. We're still refining this. The focus is your comfort, it's your ease. We want it to be as friendly for you as possible. So if you struggle to get on, forgive us. It will not be the same end of this month. It will not be the same. And but if you didn't join us, if you didn't try to see the play, you still have the time. It's on the website, Make Me a Woman Tonight. And then, of course, there are two others, The Comeback and then The Day Dad Came. So that is by way of apology to those of you who did not come on, and invitation to those of you who couldn't make the time. Now, September is a fantastic month for me for two reasons. It's a month in which I celebrate the success of Roverman Productions. It is a first production. It's a month in which a play of mine, a commercial play of mine, because I must make the distinction. Before Roverman Productions, I had done 15 plays, but they were not commercial. They were for ministry, the kind of things crusade people like me, we say. It was for ministry. Those ones, they were sold out. It's interesting how you can sell out a show in Ghana if it is for free. So, no, those shows were all free and they were all sold out. I mean, we packed churches, we packed all performance halls for ministry. Then I thought that, oh, the people like my plays, so if I charge small, they will come. I charged, they didn't come 10, nobody came. But God being good, on the 6th of September 2008, God heard our prayers and then gave us a breakthrough. And exactly, you know, the 6th of September 2008 was a Saturday. The Thursday leading to that Saturday, we had sold out the two shows. We had two shows that day, and we had sold out the whole production. The first play to sell out at the National Theatre, twice. No play has sold out even once at the National Theatre, and we had done it twice. That is how good God is. And I tell people that when your time is up, God makes sure. This God that we serve is a showman, and when his time is up. But September is also the month in which I was fired from my job. On the 26th of September, 1991, I was fired. 9 very serious charges were leveled against me, and I was fired. No trial, no query, nothing. I go to the office one day, and the chairman of the board, my boss calls me and says, come to my office. I go to his office. The chairman of the board is sitting there. They give me a letter. I open the letter. 9 charges. You are fired with immediate effect. Now, I celebrate it because that dismissal freed me to be Uncle EBO WHYTE. It is the most liberating thing that happened to me. Though it was traumatic on the day. It was so traumatic that when I packed my things and came home that day, I went to the washroom to take a pee, and I couldn't find my Kojo Mensah. And I had to stand in the washroom to talk to Kojo Mensah. Hey, Kojo Mensah, I have been dismissed, but you haven't been dismissed. You have work to do even today. So come out of hiding and stop this nonsense. But I look back and I thank those who fired me. Because if they hadn't fired me, I would still have been the same person who was so concerned about what people thought of him that I never strayed to be who I was. Now, I don't really care what people think. As long as I know this thing that I'm doing is the best I can do for now, I don't care whether you approve or not. I am happy to be doing that. It freed me to operate in the area of my gifting. It freed me from trying to meet up the standards and the expectations of people. But we'll talk about the dismissal later. Today, I want to celebrate the success of unhappy wives, confused husbands. So this is what I'm going to do. Because unhappy wives, confused husbands ushered us into the era of Roverman Productions, and for the last 12 years, we've had an incredible ride with Roverman Productions. Today, I want to share with you lessons on love and marriage from the theater. Lessons on love and marriage from the theater. So I'm going to use theater language, but you would understand. You won't get lost. So I'm just going to give you 15 points because I'm going to have quite a panel for us to do a discussion when I am done. So let's get going. Number one, conflict is a necessary ingredient to life, to joy, and to love. Conflict. In the days when I used to counsel, if people came to me and they wanted counseling for marriage, I asked them, have you fought before? If they say no, I say, go. Come back to me after you fought. Because if you are in love and you've never fought, you have never quite been initiated into love. You are not ready to marry. You are not ready to take that relationship to the next level until you fought. Because conflict is a necessary ingredient to love, to life, and to your own joy. And you see that in every field. Mr. Kitchen, you're a football fan. Did you ever play football?
Very long.
Come again?
Yes.
It means he didn't play soccer. No, he didn't. He didn't play. Kennison, you play soccer?
I did try out, but I never got.
What position? Don't tell me through.
I got defense to midfield.
Okay, defense and midfield. That's why you don't eat, wicked boy. Anybody? Ken, what did you play?
I was the Jama leader. Yes.
Ken said he was the Jama leader. Hey, Kwesi, did you play? What position? Hey! Kwesi said number 5. Kwesi, I'm afraid of you already. No, number 5 is better than number 4. The wicked guys like Kennison, they play number 4. But let's take this thing. So there is a game. Barcelona with Messi, not without Messi. Barcelona with Messi versus Real Madrid. El Clasico. Okay? The referee's whistle goes. Barcelona kicks off. Suarez gives it to Messi. They run with the ball. They get into the goal area of Real Madrid. Kick into the post is a goal, 1-0. The audience will go, yay. The spectators will be shouting. The supporters of Barcelona. Real Madrid brings it in there. They kick it off. It goes from one Real Madrid player to the other, to the other, to the other. They kick. It's a goal, 1-1. Real Madrid supporters will go, yay. Bring the ball back. Barcelona, kick off. One Barcelona player to the other. They run with the ball. They shoot. Goal, 2-1. Real Madrid comes. They kick the ball off. One Real Madrid player to the other. Shoot at the goal post. It's a goal, 2-2. How many of you will watch that match? You will not watch it all. But you have the two players, the two teams. You have El Clasico going, but something is lacking. It's conflict, the tension. This is about life. Listen, if you do not know, let me tell you this. Your legs do not move without conflict. When you move a step, you take a step, there are tendons in your leg that are allowing the leg to go, and there are others that are opposing that one and holding it back. That is how you walk. Without that, you throw your leg and it will never come back. Conflict is all over the place. And conflict in a relationship is important. You need that. Because without it, then there's a bit of hypocrisy going on, and you need to be aware of that. The problem, the real thing is not the conflict, it's how you resolve them and how you let it enrich your relationship. So that's the first one. In theater, we deal with conflict. If there's a play without conflict inside, somebody like Vic or Efe would raise their hand and say, Uncle, well, this play is not nice. And they would make a lot of noise about it. 2, rehearsals are important, but they are not the end. In the same way, courtship is important, but it is not marriage. So we rehearse and rehearse. The drama groups that are not professional, they rehearse to all their best at rehearsal. And then the production itself is an anticlimax. And that is what a lot of people are doing. Every focus goes into the courtship, goes into the wedding. As if the wedding is an end to itself. It's almost as if, we have had a wedding, so everybody go home, we are done. No. The wedding, the courtship, they are all your rehearsals. The wedding is your technical dress rehearsal. Marriage is yet to happen. So rehearsals are important. Courtship is important. You can't jump that, just as you can't jump rehearsals. But it is not the production. Courtship is not the marriage. 3, that may seem to contradict 2, but listen carefully. The success of a production comes from the right casting and the adequacy and the quality of rehearsals. The success of a production comes from having the right people playing the right roles and at the same time undergoing adequate and quality rehearsals. In the same way, the success of a marriage comes from the right choice of a partner, that's your casting, and then the adequacy and the quality of the courtship. The courtship is not marriage, but it is your rehearsals. And unless you do the courtship right, your production would flop, your marriage will flop. So just as we focus a lot on getting the right people playing the right roles in the play, we focus on what kind of rehearsals we have, the quality rehearsals. In the same way, the choice you make and the kind of courtship you have are critical to the success of your marriage. 4, everyone on stage has a role to play. In a production, you don't have people coming, just walking on stage and going off. Nobody does that. At least not at a production. I've seen church productions when somebody has just strayed on stage and waved at the mother. But it won't happen in our production. Everyone on stage has a specific role to play. In the same way, everyone in a love relationship has a role to play. The husband is playing the role of Christ, and the wife is playing the role of the church. It is up to you to decide whether you are going to play your role well or not. But remember, every good director, when somebody's messing up with a role, you don't give the role to that person again. You take it from them. 5, it does not matter how good an actor you are. You may be Victoria, you may be Efe, you may be Andrew, you may be Ken when he has found a new girl. but if your fellow cast members, are not measuring up, then if they are not bringing their A game to the production, then it doesn't matter how good you are. In the same way, marriage, it has two people, you and your partner. If both of you are not bringing your A game to the relationship, that relationship is going nowhere. It can't just be one person carrying the relationship all the time. It will not work. It will not work. Both of you must be committed to bringing your best behavior to the relationship. Otherwise, trust me, you won't have a relationship for too long. 6, everyone on stage has a specific role to play, and you must understand the role. You must understand your role and play it to the best of your ability. Number 7, in a successful production, the cast take time to study their characters and their roles and the roles of the other actors. That is what makes for a successful production. You understand the character I am playing. This is my role. Not just the name of the character, but what is the role of this person? And then, what is the character of the person I am playing against? Because you see, if I am on stage with somebody who is supposed to be my child, the way I speak to that person will be different. That's why it is important to understand that person's role. If I am also on stage with somebody who is my enemy, my approach to that person will be different. My tone and everything will be different. So you understand first the role you are playing, the role the other people are playing. Then you would make a good production. In the same way, in marriage, you've got to understand your role in the relationship. You've got to understand it. What is my role in this? And what is the role of my partner? And both of you, as I've said in 5 and 6, then commit to playing your individual roles well. But it begins with understanding. You must understand your role. There are too many people who haven't done the homework of understanding their role. They haven't done what we call in the trade character analysis to understand what it is. So that if I say I am boyfriend, what does it mean? If I say I'm girlfriend, what does it mean? If I say I am wife, what does it mean? If I say I am husband, what does it mean? If I call her my wife, what does it mean? This, nobody will do that homework for you. It's a homework you must do on your own. 8, in every production, there's a director. If any cast member ignores the director and takes it upon himself or herself to direct the other members of the cast, there will be trouble. In the same way, in a marriage, there's a director. He's called God. So if the husband takes it upon himself to try to correct his wife to be the kind of wife she wants to be, she needs to be, he's asking for trouble. In the same way, if the wife takes it upon herself to tell the husband the kind of husband he should be, he's asking for trouble. Leave the director. So if you have any issues, you pray a lot about it and let God move this person and change that person. In other words, what I'm saying, and we've said it here before, once you marry somebody, you've lost the right to change the person. It is no longer your place. Just as if you are in the play with me and I am a member of the cast just as you are, you have lost the right. You don't have the right to tell me how to play that role. That is the director. If you have any ideas, go to the director, let the director come in and tell me what to do. 9, there is a script for production. There's a script for any production. In the same way, there's a script for marriage and for love relationships. If you don't know the script, go and look for it. But I'll give you a clue. Check Ephesians chapter 5, verses 21 to 33. If you are in a love relationship that is heading in marriage, or if you are married, you should be able to recite that passage. Otherwise, you're in trouble. Try 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 7. This will give you an idea of the script for marriage. So there's a script for a production, but there's also a script for marriage. You can't just go and improvise and wing it. It doesn't work that way. 10. On stage, the actors play off the energy from each other. So I go on stage, and I am on stage with Mr. Kitchen. It is the energy he brings to his role that would also influence my energy. And his energy is also influenced by the energy I bring to the stage. Otherwise, the play will get flat. The scene will just go dead. In the same way, in a relationship, the partners play off the energy of each other. You know, if you wake up in the morning and you go, the other person is also going to do the chill in his own way. If you wake up in the morning and you go, good morning, my dear, of course, he has to be a stupid person to say chill. He would have to respond in kind. In a relationship, your smile when you enter the room may also get you a smile back. So we play off the energy we get from each other. 11, no two casts of the play are the same. So take Unhappy Wives, Confused Husbands. Let me bring another set of people to play the same roles, the same play, the same lines, the same movements. It will be a different play. In the same way, no two relationships are the same. No two marriages are the same. Every marriage, every relationship has its own unique DNA. And so don't compare your relationship with any other person's relationship. If you do that, you'll get it very, very wrong. 12. If you're in a production, your convenience and your comfort no longer matters. In other words, it is not up to you to decide when to report at the theater for the show. Your reporting time is given to you by the stage manager. It is no longer whether you feel like it or not. It is no longer whether you are in a mood for it or not. And at our production, we've had productions where people have gone on stage with a broken leg because the show must go on. In the same way, in a love relationship, and in marriage in particular, it doesn't depend on whether you feel like it or not. You are in a relationship, you have a role to play, hey, play it. And don't come and tell me you don't know what kind of day I have had. Yeah, me too, I've had some day. You too, you don't know the day I've had. No, none of us can bring that here. Rise up and play your role and stop making excuses. That is what makes for a great production. Professionals don't bring their personal moods and preferences. As for me, I don't like it this way. What do you mean by you don't like it this way? You're in a production. What's the director what has he called for the production? Let's do it. And then when you go away, you can decide you don't like it. 13, the audience is king. The audience is always king. It is all about the audience in a production. In the same way, in a love relationship, the audience matters. And who are the audience here? Your parents, your siblings, the children when they come in later, your friends, your mentors, the people you look up to as leaders. They matter. They are your audience. The people you invited to your wedding, they are your audience. And your relationship no longer is about the two of you. It's about all those people you drag from their homes. Force them to wear dresses that were ill-fitted for them. They were not comfortable. They wore shoes that were not comfortable. They came to a place they hadn't been in a long time called church, and you made them take some things you call refreshment. They didn't regard it as refreshment, but they came because of you. They are your audience. When you are conducting yourself, remember them. Remember those behind you. Don't disgrace them. That's the point I'm making. In our productions, we are driven by our audience. What the audience would take, what the audience would enjoy. In the same way, in your marriage, you should make sure that your audience, your parents, your siblings, your children, your friends, your mentors would always be honored when they hear how the marriage is getting on. 14, your lines on stage are very important. Lines, words. And in a relationship, your words are very important. Hey, the wrong word can ensure that you sleep dry for a month. Especially if you are married to a woman who knows English. She will speak English, you would sleep dry. Words are important. Words can de-escalate the worst of situations or escalate the most harmless of situations. That is all you will have. Words, so words, words. And so, in life, in your relationship, choose your words carefully. Every word that comes out of your mouth must be meant to build the relationship, must be meant to celebrate your partner, not undermine your partner, not ridicule your partner, but to bring the best out of your partner. Words are important. And finally, 15. You know, when you buy a ticket to come and watch our show at the National Theatre, you are coming with great anticipation because you don't know the play. You don't know how it begins. You don't know how it ends. We are walking in, we are a bit anxious, but we know the end of the play. Our anxiety is, would anything go wrong, the audience, the palpitation of the heart? But it is not because we don't know the end and we are wondering how is this thing going to end. Before a production begins, we know the end of the play before it starts. In the same way, we know the end of a marriage. We know the end of a marriage, especially if you live, and I'm using marriage as the ideal one, a marriage as it should be. We know the end of it. How do we know it? It's because we know this. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That's how come we know the end. We know that as soon as you marry, we know, oh, he's found a good thing. He has obtained favor from the Lord. How else would it end? It would end fantastically. That is what it is. If it doesn't end that way, something is wrong with the actors. Not with the theater, with the actors, with the cast. Because we work for it, we know that this story is complete and it ends well. If it doesn't go as the actors, what went wrong with you? But we know the end when you played according to the game. So those are 15 lessons from theater. And I shared that with you because right now, today, up to the weekend, all I'm thinking about is the success of Unhappy Wives, Confused Husbands on 6th of September, 2008. It was a glorious day. It was a celebratory day. I think what was the time now? It's about 1 o'clock. By 1 o'clock on the 4th of September, 2008, I was on my knees crying. I could not hold back the tears because I had just had a call that our tickets had sold out. And the outlets were calling. And people would not believe that there were no tickets. So they go to Frankie's. Frankie said, we don't have tickets, so more tickets for her. They go to bus stop, because we use bus stop in those days. Airport Shell, all the places that we, Joy FM, all the places we took the tickets had sold out. And the calls started coming. And when I realized that, I was in an office with people. I left them, went to a place where it was quiet, went on my knees and broke down in tears. Glorious day. You see, men too can cry. So those are 15 lessons. We'll take a short break, Kwesi. If you don't know what to do during the break, just play We Plenty, and then we'll take it from there.
Fanny, won't you come to bed?
I'll be with you. I'll be with you shortly.
Come on, let's go to bed too. And you're doing this.
Sir? Sweetheart, I think it's getting late. You should come to bed.
Get the best-selling novels, The Deal, and Perfect Couple by Uncle EBO WHYTE at 40 Ghana cedis each. Available at all Shell shops, selected bookshops, and total filling stations. For inquiries, call 050-554-6010 or WhatsApp 050-554-6030 for your copies.
Hello.
Well, thank you for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Alice says, I'm always blessed when I listen to you. Alice, thank you very much. Efia says, this is a forever lesson. This is forever lessons. And thank you. Well, thank you very much, and God bless you. Well, I promise you that when we come back, we'll be having a fantastic discussion. And so I have with me Efe. Efe, you all know. Efe works as as my assistant artistic director, and has been the stage manager for more than half of our productions. So she has more than 20 productions under her belt, as not just a stage manageress, but also as a choreographer. Fantastic woman. And then next, we have the woman who we now all call Onion. So Onion, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And then we have the intellectual among us, Prof Vic. Prof. She has a once-in-a-generation mind, fantastic actress, and she knows what we're talking about. And you were fantastic in Make Me a Woman Tonight. Fantastic. And then, in order to keep the connivance of the world quiet, we also have Adrian. For the clan. One for the clan.
One for the clan, yeah.
You know, anytime I think about that, I break into laughter. Hey! One for the clan.
Yeah.
And Vic talks about pressure. That one is proper
pressure.
All right, so Efe, you see this from the administrative and managerial part point of view. What do you think of the lessons?
Yeah, it all this mask, it all makes sense. It all makes sense, and you know, I'd never really considered the parallels, and I guess it just shows that God uses all of our careers and job choices to show us how he wants life to be. And what does Shakespeare say? The world is a stage. Yes. All the world is a stage, and we are the actors. And to realize, I guess for me, the one that hit me the most is one I was actually reading about this morning. The role of number 4. Everyone has a role to play and a purpose in relationships and in life. The simplicity of just saying the husband's role is Christ, the wife's role is the church. And I don't think we harp on that enough for us to just have it ingrained from the beginning of a relationship.
Okay, from the beginning.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people who are not yet married are like, oh yeah, what is our role? But if you have that from the beginning, I think your courting or your dating relationship will be so much simpler, exactly, and more purposeful. If he doesn't know he has to be Christ, or he's not ready to be Christ, and she's not ready to be the church, then don't worry.
That's right.
So I think that's the main takeaway for me, the confirmation moment that yes, this is it.
Oh, by the way, the woman we are calling Onion is an MC in her own right. She takes that seriously. And so invite her to your event and she will explain to you why I'm calling her Onion. But I am not going to explain why I'm calling her Onion. You're welcome. Yes. So what do you think of the presentation?
Thank you. The presentation is perfect and everything is true, as the sister said. And one thing that I always want people to understand is where you are talking about the comparison. That women, mostly, we compare our relationship with our friends, what is going on. I always use practical examples, things that we do so that we will always remember. I was speaking at a wedding and I told the woman that marriage is like a soup. And I use light soup because we all prepare light soup, but if you be true to yourself, the taste of every home's light soup is different. And it depends on the ingredient. It might be the same ingredients, but even how you mix the ingredients and how you pour it, the process when you are making the soup makes it different. So how you want your soup to taste, and in this case, is the relationship. How you want it to be, it's how you have to work at it. The last time I was telling Vic that marriage is an institution. So when you go to school, especially she being prof, you know you do mid-sem and the end of sem. So all those things comes in. But in the end, the focus is for you to complete and have your graduation. So the comparison is, you know.
I said that marriage is a school where you are giving the certificate first.
You are giving the certificate before
Yeah.
you do the course.
Now go and earn it.
Do this.
Now go and earn it.
Before you do medicine, you
Yeah.
already have your certificate.
No, you already have the certificate.
Yeah.
You already have the certificate.
Yeah.
You don't graduate from this school, you stay.
Now go and earn it.
So it makes you think that you don't need any medicine and end of sim again, but they are the things that helps us. Uncle said the first one.
What's your best soup? What's your favorite soup?
My favorite soup is light soup. Yeah.
That's the soup.
No, wait. Anybody who likes light soup likes fufu.
Yes,
correct. Fufu is life, my people. It is life.
No, and they do that because with light soup you can eat more of the fufu.
Yes.
Uncle. Because it's light.
No, so they like the fufu more than the soup.
Yes.
Oh, no.
The soup matters.
Soup matters.
Oh, the soup matters. With certain soup, you may not be able to eat as much of the fufu as with light soup. But light soup, with onion inside, I mean.
With onion inside. So, Uncle, I wanted to end with the conflict. So it leads to the conflict that you've taken the certificates, and the mid-sem and the end of sem is the conflict that Uncle mentioned, that it is a very important ingredient. I know a woman who says, that night she enjoys it better.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
No, makeup sex is always nice.
Yes.
Makeup sex is always nice. And that is why some women get hooked on that and would create unnecessary fight so they can be makeup sex.
No, Candy, I don't do that.
Oh, Victoria.
Why is she mentioning your name?
I don't know. I really don't
I can't
know.
say, oh, onion. Like,
oh, Adrian, something.
Nah.
Why me? I don't do that.
You're in front of me.
All right, we'll ignore that for the time being. Yeah, Prof, your turn.
So, Uncle, I think it's very interesting how you draw from the theater to talk about marriage, and it just made everything seem very practical.
Yeah.
And all the points sink in deep. Maybe because I think I love the theater as well. But I'm sure it was so simply done. I'm sure everybody else will get it. The ones that stuck out to me or drew my attention is 10 and 14. So with 10, when you talk about the actors play off the energy from each other.
Yes.
You know, it's something both have experienced on stage and in marriage as well. But I find that in marriage, interesting enough, sometimes that 50-50 thing is a farce. And sometimes you wake up and it's 595 or 1090, depending on who is bringing what. Because sometimes I wake up and all I want to do is 25, and I'm expecting 75 from him, so we can have 100%. And there are days when I am doing the 90 and he's just struggling with 10 or something. I just that came up when you said that point, that I feel like sometimes that 50-50 thing that we actually are not told this, but for some reason we believe that it's going to be 50-50. For some reason we just believe that I'm giving you 50-50, so we do 100%. Then with point 14, when you said the lines on stage are very important. Last week when you spoke about what women should know about men and things like that, when I went home, I was thinking about when you would do what men should know about women. And I think that one of the things you should add is that just like sex is important to men, our food, complementing our food is also important to us females. To us, it's like our female version of sex. Like, I put in so much thought into the food. If you tell me it's nice, you're telling me that it was, it's a good thing. I need to hear that. And back to the point about the words thing. Just last week, I had a conversation with my lover, husband. And he, after eating, decided to say that, "Oh, Victoria." And he had to pick his words carefully, because if not, it would have probably been like a really long thesis. So he said, I was like, "Do you like the food?" Then he's like, "You're a very confident person." I'm like, I know. He's like, "Sometimes your food is not as confident." And I'm like, "Babes, what are you saying?" I didn't know whether to be upset or not, because I knew he had tried, because it was either it's not nice, which would have been, what do you mean it's not nice? So what are you comparing it to? Then we'll go down that lane to, you are confident and the food today is not very confident. In other words, the food was shy or something. And I didn't get upset, because I thought of the fact that, just like you're saying here, the lines are important. The manner in which you spoke the words had a way of, dulling the effect of the food is not tasty, which would have been a big deal. Yeah. So those are the two things that jumped out at me when you were giving the presentation.
To all the married men listening to us and watching us, let me give you a secret. When a woman presents you with a food that is not confident, she's telling you something. She's telling you to up your game in the bedroom.
Oh,
it is always, no, subconsciously. The food, the quality of the food they put there is a proverb. They are telling you, I learned this by accident. A friend of mine said,
oh Lord.
Is that we can?
I'm watching this. No, it had nothing to do with you. I was just not confident in the kitchen. I beg you. I beg. I beg. No, my food really. I beg.
No, you may be the exception.
But the exception.
But the point is, I'm just making a general point that when a woman brings you food that has more salt or has no salt, she is telling you didn't perform well. If she brings you food with too much pepper, she is telling you something. With no pepper, she's telling you something. And my friend told me, he said, we can always tell when daddy hasn't done well in bed. I said, how did you tell? He said, my mother will serve him without salt. And then he said, my father will shout, then he said, my mother will be in the kitchen and shout across. esi ohina no uhunu.
Oh no.
So these are things you pick up. So I look at the quality of food I'm served, and then I immediately review the night. You know, but these days I can always tell what kind of food I'm going to be served. No, I can tell. I can know. So as they are bringing the food, I know this is going to be good. Yeah. But if I haven't also tried, I don't look forward to meal time because I know they are going to ensure I have a comment. I would definitely have a comment on it. Ronnie is here. Good afternoon, Ronnie. You come on camera, so get ready. You come on camera. Did you follow the discussion? Okay, great. All right. Now, before you talk,
yes,
a certain Nanefua says she's watching.
She's typing.
She's what? She's typing.
Jesus is Lord. Okay. Okay. Let me tread cautiously.
Yes, please.
I'll go. 2 points really stood out. Well, this took me back to my wedding sermon, and point 4 is something that I hold on to dear. That's everyone has a role, and your role is to play Christ, and the fact that God is the director of the play called marriage, and it's always rings in my head, especially when there's drama in the house, and you're Christ, you're supposed to forgive. Go forgive, you know.
Yeah.
So it always rings in my head, and the fact that God is directing the play. So sometimes when I mess up, I look up, I'm like, God, I'm going back to do it again.
Yeah. Yes.
And it rings in my head constantly, and it's great. It's a great reminder for everybody to keep in mind. And also number 13, I have a question about number 13. The audience is key. And you listed the audience as our family and all of that. But how key is their role to us? How should we let them affect our performance on stage? Should anything or any comments that they throw be taken in, or how do we draw the line that they don't affect our performance as actors in a role of marriage?
What do you think?
For me, there's a line I draw around my marriage. It's me and my wife, and everything else is a suggestion that we can take in advisement. So I know my parents are key. We listen to them, we speak to them, we have respect for them. But whatever we take from them, it's for both of us to digest and see, is this working for us as a unit, or is this going to be?
No, I understand that. When we go on stage, we are not tailoring our performance to the audience.
Sure.
Do you understand me?
Sure.
We have a script we are interpreting.
Perfect.
We have the vision of the director we are executing. Do you understand me? All we know is that if we have understood the script well enough, understood the director's vision and interpretation well enough, and we bring our A game on the day, the audience will be happy, will be satisfied. We don't go on a production and then survey views from the audience for the production.
Okay.
The audience have come already expecting us to give them our best show. So the audience in our marriages are already supportive of us. Just don't disgrace us.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
They don't have a say.
True.
Because once a production begins, the audience does not have a say.
True.
They have a say for the next play by not buying the ticket. That's the only say. But we don't, at a certain point, stop in the middle and say, what do you think? What do you think? Have you seen what Ronnie is doing with this role? Should we fire him or should we keep him? And things like that. Do you like Ken's costume or something? No. They don't have a play in that.
Okay.
But we are conscious.
Conscious of that.
Why are we starting on time? We are starting on time because of our audience. Why are we working so hard at rehearsals to get this right? Because of our audience. Why are we getting our lines right so that nobody runs dry and goes blank on stage? Because of the audience. Why are we working so hard at rehearsals with the choreography until we collapse? Why? Because we want to please our audience.
Exactly.
And that concept is in the Bible when we are told that we are surrounded by a great crowd of witnesses.
Yeah.
You know, so that's audience.
That's audience. That's it.
That's the audience.
That is.
So because there are people who know me, in my case it is even worse because you become a reference for some people. You can't then do what you like.
Exactly.
Of course, they don't have a say in how I live my life. But that consciousness that people are watching me,
True.
sometimes chasing me even into the washroom. You know, I mean, if you're the kind of person who you are peeing, and somebody comes and says, "Uncle, can I take a selfie with you?" Take a selfie with me when I'm peeing. I mean, wait.
Let me shake first.
Oh yes, this happened. I told you about it when I came out of the place. I went to Ronnie to one of the companies we dealt with, and I had gone to the washroom to pee.
I'm getting him alone.
You know, and it's a big washroom with the urinals are on one side, and then the washing basins on the other side. And I think he came out of one of the cubicles to go and wash his hands. And I'm there minding my own business, facing the wall. And then is that Uncle Bo?
No, it's not. I get that all the time, but it's not him.
I turned and said, yes. Then he comes. Uncle Bo, can I take a selfie with you? Oh, hello, boss. Have you seen what I'm doing? I mean, this is... Unless you want to break the internet, I mean, you don't take a selfie. You don't take a selfie at this time. So, Adrian, it is our awareness that there's a statement I've come to love. I come as one, but I stand as a million. I come as one, but I stand as a million. In other words, I'm a Christian, so I stand as a Christian.
Sure.
I'm a Ghanaian. I stand as a Ghanaian. Wherever I go, because people may never encounter another Ghanaian, and my action as an individual Ghanaian is going to color all Ghanaians. I come as one, but I stand as a million because there are people who are going to look at me and say, men are like that.
Exactly.
Just because of me. Do you understand me? And so if I am able to project the best man I can be, their concept of a man is going to change immediately. And if we can all understand that I come as an individual, but I stand as a corporate, I stand as a community, would all up our game. All right, Chrissy, let's take a short break, and I want to bring Ronnie on. So let's take a short break, and then Ronnie will take the place of Effie. Right, and thank you very much. We are just getting to the closing stages, and I wanted you to hear the voice of a handsome young man. Ronnie, you're welcome.
Thank you, Uncle Ibu. I've missed you.
Yeah, I've missed you too.
Actually romantic.
I know, right?
I've missed you.
Oh, man.
When was the last time you ate a food that was unconfident? That was unconfident.
Hey, my God, I'm scared. This night I'm finished, Lord.
I can't put my mind
You're
to
on your
it.
A game. You're on your A game.
God to you.
I beg you. I'm speaking to my father. Oh, yeah.
You know, some men, because they don't want to know, they buy food from outside before they come home. As soon as they come, babes, would you eat? Oh, I have already eaten. Because they don't want a report card. Please don't give me a report card. I've already. Ronnie, your views on what we've just said.
Uncle Ibu, I also can identify with the point 13, the audience and the marriage. And I think that some years ago I shared something with you. In fact, it struck me when I was listening to you. I told you that one day we came home and my brother-in-law had come to paint the house. And the house belongs to their mother.
Okay.
And he's come to paint the house without informing me. I felt so bad. And I came to Uncle Ibu and I discussed this with Uncle Ibu. Uncle Ibu told me that, look, you need to strike a balance. What he told me was that the audience play a certain role in your life. So you always need to strike a balance. And striking a balance is like what the explanation he gave to Adrian's point. Play your role very well. Make sure that you are, because they will be there forever. They will not leave, and they are your audience. He may not mean bad by coming to paint the house, but make sure that when you have to, you do it, so that there will not be any.
So
Because
you don't leave any room for them.
No. You don't leave any room for that, and it's been good. They don't even come to the house because I took this very seriously, and that has been very good. That has been very good thereafter to date. Yeah.
Well, that is wonderful. I'll give the last comment to our prof, because we have picked on her a lot. She's given, just as we picked on Onion last week. This week we've picked on confident food and non-confident food. I'll go and check and see today. No, today what will happen? Okay, no. Yeah, I think the food will be confident.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Oh man. You are dead.
I probably should buy food on my way home.
You are dead.
I'm dead.
So give us your closing comment and then we go.
I come as one, but I stand as a million. I think it resonates is resonating with me, and I feel like that's one of the highlights of this episode, that we're probably the only example people will have of any group of people or anybody or wherever you are, you're representing that. So, and I think if it transcends, faith basis, but on every level, you are the only, think of the fact that you are the person representing the entire clan.
That's
like Adrian did for his people. So we come as one, we stand as a million.
That's a million, yes.
Yes, and that's resonating with me.
And we've got to be careful because it takes only one Fante to fool for everybody to say Fante for your concert for.
Yes.
You haven't met every Fante man.
Yes.
Fante for your concert for. It takes one woman to chase money. For people to say, Madde, it is all about money. True. It takes one man to have an affair. Oh, men are dogs.
Men are cheats. Men
are dogs. Which is an insult to the dogs. True, because dogs don't sleep around easily. Yeah. They don't. Yeah. You love dogs. Yeah. Dogs don't go chasing unless the woman give an indication. Yes. A lie. Yes. So they are not like the loose boys. Loose boys, they just go running around. If you see a male dog going after a female, it's because the female has given an indication that I'm on heat. Otherwise, they won't bother them. And there
should be a sign of call at the back.
Yes, that's right. Before they attempt, then they go and fight. Yes, they go. And then they go there, and it's a survivor of the fittest. And then after it all, they choose one person who then the rest of them, they all go home.
Uncle Ibu, please relax on this disposition. People are listening. Oh dear.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us. We've taken about 5 minutes of your time. I was aware of that, but I wanted Ronnie to be on camera. So, Ronnie, thank you for coming. Evi, thank you very much. And then Onion, thank you. Confident.
Oh, no, you don't let this take, please.
Confident,
I beg
thank you.
you.
You know, the way to kill nicknames is to just roll with it. Yeah. It will die.
Yeah.
It will die. And then Adrian, you took one for the clan.
Yeah.
And then to Believe and Mr. Kitchen and Coke. Coke and Ken, you've been very silent today. And I know why. You came late. You were hoping to avoid sanctions. Don't worry, I won't punish you for coming late. And Chrissy and the studio audience, thank you very much for joining us. Please go on our website, and if you have any problem, if somebody sent a message that they were struggling to still get on, let's work it out and then get in touch with her in particular. So we'll come your way again, God willing, next week with another interesting discussion. Until then, stay blessed and stay safe. Oh, stay safe. The protocols are still in effect. This illness, coronavirus, he doesn't respect. He's only 19 years old. So he behaves like a teenager. He doesn't respect anybody. So take good care, and God bless you.